Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, hi, hey, hello. My name is Meg and we do crafty things here. So if you like crafty things, please consider subscribing. This week I asked you guys what you wanted to see on Instagram and you said Knotting Dangerously Part 2. So here we are. This week's Knotting Dangerously, we are going to try a couple new things I've never tried before. I'm going to try knotting onto like a straight object like you would with a wall hanging or like a tapestry or like a charm, I guess. So I'm using this toothpick because I'm just doing a small pattern. This week's pattern is going to be number 26650 off of Bracelet Book, which is just the cute little Rolling Stones logo. I just thought it'd be a fun one to do, and it was relatively small because these Knotting Dangerously ones, if they go awry, I don't want to waste a ton of string on them. But if they look good, I don't want it to just be like something I'm not going to use. So here we are. And this week we're going to try something that I've been seeing lots of people ask about in the chats and the forums lately. And I've had a couple people ask me in person about this as well. Or not in person, sorry, Messenger. And that is knotting, quote unquote, upside down. So far as I know, you basically knot backwards. And I'm basing this on my experience when I first started knotting. Because when I first started knotting, the individual who had taught me only forwards knots because she had taught me candy stripe. And then when I asked her how to do the chevron, we were like 10 years old, so I don't blame her, but she just wanted to make her bracelet. So she said, oh, well, you just divide your strings in half and, do them like mirror of each other. And do the same thing on the other side to the center, and then you just knot them together in the middle. So I would actually do forwards knots on the left hand side from the outside to the center like you would a normal chevron, but then on the right hand side I would do forwards knots just from the outside to the inside, which actually resulted in, like, my knots were all fairly even and stuff, but it actually resulted in all the patterns I was doing, the right hand side of the pattern was upside down and the left hand side was right side up. And upside down is kind of a loose term because there are actually people who just knot like this. And the one who really made me want to try this, and this is actually, like I said, the original idea I wanted to try in Knotting Dangerously, and that was Knot Art. She has an Instagram and she's on Bracelet Book as Knot Art. I will insert her Instagram username and everything on the screen here and down below so you guys can see, but she knots all her alphas upside down, and I think her alphas are really good. They're really cool, they're really pretty, and I want to try it. But so far I've done the first line and it's odd. I think I've got it now, but to do it the way I thought is a lot of like twisting the string around because it's not quite right. So I think what I actually want to be doing is working left to right with forwards knots, but having the base string on top of the knotting string instead of underneath like you normally would. And I haven't felt my hands feel this clumsy while knotting in so long. So if this is your first video here, I swear to you, I have been knotting for 15 years. I don't even know now. It's been a long time. La 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 long, la 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 long. I know that's not a song, don't come at me. So yeah, this is kind of awkward, but I think I'm starting to get the hang of it. The next big thing though is going to be doing a color change, and I don't know how that's going to go. So I'm hoping, I mean, in theory, I think you could just do it the same as normal, right? In theory. Okay, we're going to add this red in. So I'm going to do my usual thing. I'm going to push the current knotting string back and completely up out of the way and tape in my new color, which is this lovely bright red. And I hope there's enough contrast between the like beige I chose for the background and the white, because the pattern actually shows like all the highlights in the lips and tongue in that beige color, but I'm going to do that white, and I just hope the camera picks it up. But anyways, I'm going to pull this red string up in where I last knotted from and just continue on like normal. And I think we should be okay. The knot kind of twists a little bit more, like it wants to come to the top because I'm pulling from the top, but it's pretty easy to resolve. And this is what I found is like the most satisfying thing, is that right there. You guys didn't even see it, but you can like feel it in the string. It does this kind of like pop when you pull the next bass string up and pop part of the previous knot like down underneath, and it's really satisfying. I found it really satisfying. I don't know why, but it was super, super satisfying. And that color change seems to have gone okay. So naturally, the next step should be attempting to do a flat alpha color change and see what happens. So I don't know how this is going to work, because theoretically, like, the concept is fairly simple. Knot half your knot and then put the next string in, knot the rest of your knot. But because the strings are moving so much from like top to bottom, because you're knotting from the top but then popping the knot to the bottom, I don't know how this would actually work. But we're gonna give it a try, because that's what we do in Knotting Dangerously. All the things that you're not supposed to do or haven't done, I'm gonna do them for you so you can see with your eyeballs, your own two eyeballs, what actually is gonna happen, and you don't just have to take someone at their word, some stranger on a forum like me. So yeah, here we go. We're gonna try this. Okay, so I've done half my red knot. Now I should lay my beige string across and then knot the rest of my red knot. But already it seems like this beige knot is kind of in the way. It's preventing my string from like sliding down to underneath. Yeah, no, this isn't gonna work. Not gonna work. Okay, I gave up on it. I tried a few times. I tried a couple different things. I couldn't get it, so I just went with a normal color change because there's already a lot of new things going on here. So here's the moment of truth. Is this white going to show up well enough on camera that you guys can even see that it's not the beige? I don't know. But the upper hand is, despite what it looks like, I am starting to get the hang of it a little bit more, like the what to do with my hands, because it feels so awkward. It's like going against every muscle memory I have for knotting a bracelet, and it's so weird. But so far, I'm not 100% sure if I'm sold on it or not. We'll have to see. I mean, it's kind of cool, but it's been so awkward up to this point, I don't know if it's worth it. So if I can really get going with it, we'll see. We'll see, folks. Yeah. I don't know. So hopefully this time lapse, I filmed it as a time lapse, and hopefully it's not too grainy or anything. My editing software doesn't always show in the same quality that it posts as, so hopefully it comes out clear. But if it doesn't, let me know down below for future videos. Okay, so at this point I can say I am loving this. I love the way it's turning out, and I think, guys, I think I might have just converted myself to a new knotting method. So if you guys want to see tutorials in the upside down style, let me know, because I think it could be fun to do tutorials in both styles, regular and upside down. So let me know what you guys think. and that's a possibility. We might do that. Otherwise, there are a couple things still that I'm a little bit hesitant on. Like, I think just more practice will make it come more naturally. As you can see, what to do with my hands got a lot easier and more natural and fluid, which was kind of what I was expecting, just because, I mean, it's the same as when you're learning how to knot a bracelet normally or do any craft really. After you've kept at it a few times, the movements that seem kind of awkward and like really deliberately thought through just get cleaner and easier. And so by the end of this little, I don't know, charm, I definitely, even halfway through here, I'm feeling much, much better about this style of knotting. And I don't know whether it's this pattern or whether it's this style, but I just love how it turned out. Here's closer for you guys. Now that my hands are just like really steady doing the same thing over and over again, I thought I'd show you guys what it looks like more up close so that you have more of an idea, if you aren't familiar with the quote-unquote upside down style, what that looks like. So a normal pattern, you would see dots and you can kind of look at it and see that it goes side to side, whereas the upside down style, it's more of a up down, like vertical line look. And I don't know, I think it just looks really clean and smooth, and I think it was a lot easier to manipulate the shape of the knots, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like there's a little more leniency in your color add-ins, because on the front side, or I guess the back side of this, normally if you bring something in and it's you pull it weird, you can skew a knot one way or the other, and this way you don't really see individual knots, so you don't really have that problem. What you do have a problem of, though, and I don't know if it was just me and that I was tying really tight, or if it's just the way, like, I don't know, it's still new string, so it might be that, just the type of string, but this was like rubbing the edge of my fingernails, like my cuticle area, raw. Like, by the end of this, like right now, it's sore. So I don't know what it's gonna be like at the end, but that is one thing to note. And also, looking at this bottom edge, it's a little bit it's not quite super straight, but I think that's on me. I don't think it's on the knotting style, because it's much more difficult to see when a knot is done. Like, on the front side, you get like a full rounded little dot and you're like, yep, my knot's done. And if you do another, like an extra knot on it, then you're like, oh, that doesn't look right. Okay, nope, I've gone one too many. Or, you know, if you only do one, then, oh, I don't have a full dot. But on the back side, it's a little more difficult, and I think that's just something you'll be able to recognize with more practice. But I think that's why my bottom line isn't quite straight there. You can see it kind of goes up on the left side and then comes down a bit in the middle, and I think that's because I've either done a couple extra somewhere or one too few a couple few too few to make it that way. But that is something I think would be improved upon with just practice. The other thing I like about this method is you don't really see, like, so far as it's not really something that I'm super thrilled about. I don't really care one way or the other, but if you're someone who's into like the straight edge method, I think knotting this way, you get rid of that ridged edge more without having to do anything fancy. Oh yeah, and update, I did play around some more with the flat alpha technique. and all of your strings have to be the exact same, and then you can make it work. Like here I'm using fat bass strings and it works fine because I'm doing a regular color change, but as you guys saw in the last one, that didn't work. And then I tried a bit of a skinnier bass string and that didn't work. The only time I've had success with it, the flat alpha, is when I'm using strings that are all the same thickness. So it's very important if you're doing flat alpha to do that. But anyways, we're not doing a flat alpha this round. We're doing the upside down bracelet. And other than the finger hurting, and it's sometimes difficult to see if you've completed a full knot or not, I actually, for the first time in a long time, struggled to find where I was in the pattern on more than one occasion, just because of how different the top of the bracelet looked. And I think, again, that comes down to not being able to tell what's like a single knot. So there was a couple times where I looked at things and then had to undo it because I had started on the wrong row, because I thought I had been in like the row previous or a row ahead of where I was, sort of thing, which was a little bit annoying. But again, I think that's something that will come with practicing this method. But so far as it's going, I love this. I love this so much. I think this is like currently one of my favorite things I've knotted, and it's not even super complicated. I just really like the way it turned out. I really like the beige background, and I think doing the highlights in white was definitely a good choice. It just pops and looks so good and satisfying against that red and the black. But I mean, you can't go wrong with the classics, and classic rock is included, man. Rolling Stones. I thought this was a fun one, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. But otherwise, I'm going to figure out how I want to end this. I'm not really sure. Okay, so I tried like a little macrame tapestry thing I had kind of seen on like a little clip on Instagram. I'm not sure if I did it quite right, but it makes it look like a little like tapestry for a dollhouse or something, which I think is actually super cute. I love how this turned out. And oh my gosh, so much tape. Now, here's something like, some of you guys know I like to use a safety pin, but for something like this you obviously can't. But my question is, do you guys think Velcro would work? Like, I'm using my kitchen table, so I can't really like stick down a piece of Velcro to my table, but I'm thinking reusable wise, because I hate using this much tape. I feel like it's so not good for like the environment, and just not, it's just wasteful. So I wonder if Velcro would work. If anyone has ever tried that, let me know down below how it worked. Like if you did a piece of Velcro, put your strings on top of it, and then maybe put another piece of Velcro on top, if that would work. Because if that would work, I might just get like a little, I don't know, side table or something. Anyways, I don't know if I'm going to keep these tassels, but we did what we set out to do in this episode of Knotting Dangerously, and I think it turned out so good. And our toothpick didn't break. That was what I was worried about. But look at the back. It's so weird. And it's really funny because the back, which is normally like the style that the front is in, looks so uneven compared to one of my normal alpha bracelets. So I think that's kind of funny. But I really enjoyed doing this episode of Knotting Dangerously. So if you guys enjoyed this as much as I did, or if you want to see more tutorials like this, please go ahead and give this video a like, leave a thumbs up down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and until next time guys, I will see you all then. Bye!